The Middle East is burning. In the last 24 hours, an unprecedented U.S. and Israeli strike has assassinated Iran's supreme leader and violently shattered the region. But Iran's regime hasn't collapsed. Instead, they've unleashed a terrifying wave of ballistic missiles across sovereign Arab nations, targeting American bases from Bahrain to the UAE. The airspace is completely closed. The UN is warning of unimaginable destruction, and the global oil supply hangs by a thread. This is day 2 of the new Middle East war. The unthinkable has happened, and the Middle East will never be the same. Today, we are witnessing the violent reshaping of a region. In the last 24 hours, the joint military campaign by the United States and Israel, aimed directly at the Islamic Republic of Iran, has crossed the ultimate red line. In a massive pinpoint airstrike on a highly secure compound in Tehran, Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has been assassinated. The death of the 86-year-old leader, alongside his top security officials and family members, marks a catastrophic escalation.
مسلمین حضرت آیت الله العظما سید علی حسینی خامنه‌ای در راه سربلندی حرم جمهوری اسلامی ایران شهد گوارای شهادت را نوشیدند.
U.S. President Donald Trump has officially declared the start of major combat operations, stating that this is the greatest chance for the Iranian people to take back their country.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
Israel's defense forces announced they have established air superiority and are now relentlessly bombing targets in the very heart of Tehran. But the Iranian regime has not collapsed. Instead, they have unleashed a terrifying wave of retaliation across the entire Middle East. To comprehend the sheer magnitude of this war, we have to look at the data. Within the first 12 hours, the combined U.S. and Israeli forces conducted nearly 900 strikes. The IDF alone claims to have hit over 500 Iranian military targets. The bombardment has struck across 17 of Iran's 31 provinces, targeting air defense systems, the Amand missile base in East Azerbaijan, and nuclear-linked facilities in Isfahan. With Khamenei dead, an emergency interim leadership council, including President Masoud Pezeshkian and the Chief Justice, has taken control. Pezeshkian released a statement condemning the assassination as a declaration of war against Muslims, and vowed that seeking revenge is Iran's legitimate right. But the civilian toll is mounting rapidly. Over 200 people have already been killed. In a profoundly tragic development, Iranian state media and the UN report that over 100 children were killed when an Israeli strike leveled a primary school in the southern city of Minab. This is no longer a surgical operation. It is an all-out war of attrition. Iran warned that if their soil was attacked, there would be no red lines. Today, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps launched its 6th wave of extensive ballistic missile and drone attacks. Their targets are not just in Israel. Iran is systematically striking sovereign Arab nations that host American military assets. In Israel, millions of civilians have rushed to bomb shelters as sirens wail from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv. But the map of the conflict is expanding rapidly. The UAE Defense Ministry reports that over 137 missiles and 200 drones were fired at their territory. Explosions have rocked the luxury skylines of Dubai and Abu Dhabi, where a woman and child were severely injured by falling drone debris near the Burj Al Arab. In Bahrain, Iranian missiles targeted the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet, landing mere yards from British troops. In Qatar, air defenses engaged projectiles near the massive Al Udeid airbase. And in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, blasts echoed near major U.S. troop concentrations. By striking 27 different American bases across the region, Iran is sending a lethal, undeniable message. Any nation that allows the U.S. to use its airspace or bases is now an enemy combatant. The immediate fallout has completely paralyzed the Middle East. Commercial aviation has collapsed. An unprecedented shutdown of airspace across Iran, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, and the UAE has stranded hundreds of thousands of global travelers. Etihad Airways has completely suspended all departures from Abu Dhabi. And global carriers like Air France are scrambling to reroute flights to avoid the war zone. The geopolitical shockwaves are tearing through neighboring countries. In Pakistan, the government has issued urgent travel warnings, while fierce anti-American protests have erupted. In Karachi, clashes outside the U.S. consulate have already left 9 people dead. And massive demonstrations are currently blocking streets in Lahore as public anger boils over. The United Nations Security Council has convened an emergency session, with Secretary General Antonio Guterres warning that the region is on the brink of destruction on an unimaginable scale. As the dust settles on day 2 of this catastrophic conflict, the world is holding its breath. The United States and Israel have decapitated Iran's leadership, but they have awakened a fiercely ideological military that is now striking out in every direction. The greatest fear moving forward is the Strait of Hormuz. If the Revolutionary Guard decides to completely blockade this 21-mile-wide choke point, 20% of the world's daily oil supply will be cut off, plunging the global economy into immediate chaos. Are we witnessing the violent birth of a new Middle East, as Washington hopes? Or has this preemptive strike just triggered a multi-decade, uncontrollable regional war? We will continue to analyze the geography, the data, and the military strategies of this historic crisis as it unfolds. To stay informed on the realities of global conflict, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.